Call of Duty Black Ops 7 preload date and file size potentially revealed, which I thought was cool because, as you know, Call of Duty has been notorious um, for having amazingly big file sizes when it comes to their game. Uh, Even up until recently, actually, because they did put out a patch just before Battlefield released, I think, because I think it may have been in response to the whole thing with Battlefield as well. If you guys remember, just a few weeks ago, before Battlefield dropped, we learned that Battlefield file sizes was just 75 gigs. The whole thing was just 75 gigs or 80 gigs or something like that. Very small. That made sense. That made complete sense because why would something like that be more than 80 gigs, right? This caused a lot of people to draw comparisons between this and Call of Duty file sizes, because Call of Duty file sizes for the past, I don't know, like 5-6 years, I think, has been getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And they have this really annoying Call of Duty hub thing that you have to install that gives you access to each game, basically like a launcher, like its own launcher. So they did have an issue with it because I did have Black Ops 6 on my PS5. The bloody thing is like 250 gigs, which is amazing. And even if you like uninstall all the campaign files and all that, it's still like well over, like I think about 150 gigs still, which made no sense. But we were kind of stuck with it because we had no option. If you want to, keep it on, it's going to take a huge chunk of your hard drive. This was especially annoying for people who have smaller hard drives and, have to manage their space better. With Battlefield being only 80 gigs, Call of Duty maybe was in response to that or not, I don't know, but they released a patch soon after that drastically reduced the file size of Call of Duty Black Ops 6, which was the right move. It's the right move. Even if it was a response to, their competition, it was the right move. Why they haven't done that before, I don't know. But they did it now and we're happy. Now, with Call of Duty Black Ops 7, there's some preload dates and file size potentially revealed. This is, I think, a rumor. It's not verified, so take it with a grain of salt. Call of Duty games are notorious for intruding on your storage space. Black Ops 7 is the biggest and latest COD title to make its mark on the series, and its early preload details and the file size guidelines might be known already. There have been so many conversations about Black Ops 7 that it's hard to keep up. The topics of skill-based matchmaking and the Season 1 roadmap are just two of many, but its potential file size and preload details are another we have to talk about. And while information is limited right now, it might be good news. Yeah, it is good news, actually. They are insanely small. According to PlayStation Game Size, you can start preloading Black Ops 7 from November 9th and at 10 a.m. PT, making this a full 5 days before the game's full November launch. The page does say that multiple details here are subject to change, so bear this in mind, but PlayStation Game Size is usually very accurate when it comes to these details. Yeah, they're accurate, but it's not verified. So, like I said, take it with a grain of salt. Here are the details, okay? In terms of, when you can preload them, if you care about that stuff. In Australia, that's 5 a.m. on November 10th. So in 6 days, you can preload this already in Australia. Everywhere else, it's November 9th because of the time zones, obviously. So these are the times. This is the PS4 file sizes, and it's according to PlayStation Game Size. That's from X. So they put up this post. It says Call of Duty Black Ops 7 multiplayer pack 11.6 gigabytes, Zombies 320 co-op campaign pack 11.9 gigabytes. I think the reason why the campaign actually takes up so much less space now is because it's been designed as a co-op campaign, which means they have to sort of design in the same way as a multiplayer game would, because it has co-op elements to it. The whole game has it, which means you do have lower textures, you do have that, different ways of loading the game and stuff like that. Whereas like when you play campaign, it has more details. uh, different types of lighting, ray tracing, and all that stuff. I think this is missing that. I think that's probably why it's so much less. But yeah, having the whole game be 23 gigabytes, it's freaking insane, which make you question why did these games took up so much space before. If Black Ops 7, the newest game in Call of Duty, is only gonna have 23 gigabytes of file size in PS4. I think this could be very well up to about 50 gigabytes in on PS5. I think because PS5 would be supporting higher textures and higher resolution. So I think in terms of the texture packs and all that, that would take up more space, leading to slightly higher overall file size for PS5 and also PCs. Having 23 gigabytes on PS4 is a pretty good indication that it's going to have a pretty drastically low file size, which is amazing, which is good news. I'm not complaining about it. It's awesome. But then again, like I said, it does make you wonder why the hell these games took up so much space before. I mean, we know partly why, because of poor optimization, but again, like, why couldn't they do this before me? It looked like they managed it this time. Why couldn't they do it before? I have no idea. If you have any idea, please do let me know. Just 23 gigabytes, man. That's actually amazing. If it does turn out to be just under 50 gigs for the whole thing, that would be cool. That would be cool. And kudos to Call of Duty and Activision where it's due for optimizing the game and making it small, so people don't have to reserve the entire storage space just to play Call of Duty. Given the map size has been small in Call of Duty compared to Battlefield, it does make sense that multiplayer would be that small. It does make sense. Whereas Battlefield does have like bigger maps and also like insanely detailed, and this obviously clearly driven by whatever Battlefield did with their file sizes. So I'm happy this competition does exist, and it's leading for both of them to do better on each game. Like I have said before, this means gamers win, we players win.